Hey, it's the Inner Power Podcast.
Hi guys.
Hello. Hey, Ange, guess what? If I don't like what you're saying, yay!
I don't have that power today, unfortunately.
I got all the power today. Take your screen.
No. Today we are actually broadcasting from our own homes.
Yeah.
Just to mix things up a little bit, just to make it more
Public safe,
interesting.
basically.
Or maybe because Matt's studio, Matt's studio is really cold and I just don't feel like shivering. So I'm ready to stay home. That's what it is.
Only a few people allowed in my house. Sorry, Ange. And what I say earlier, if I go like this, it's like I'm stood behind. No, wrong way. Stood behind you.
Yeah, you're gone. You see, and this is how I exclude you from the screen. You see, it's working. That was power mind. I use my mind.
And the great thing about this, Ange, is that if I'm bored,
there we go. That works too.
I can say, yeah.
That works too.
Okay. We're messing about. Thanks for joining, everyone. What we're talking about today, Ange, we're talking about not being broken.
So yeah, we're talking about you are not broken and how to gain your inner strength and live the life you want to live. And we thought, that's going to be actually a pretty good topic to talk about.
Yeah.
Because we all are broken to a certain extent, but how we look at it is just what makes the difference, right? There are so many happy and successful people who've been really broken in the past, and they came out on the other side. So I thought, why not? Let's just talk about that. Let's talk about that. Oh, there we go. There is some lights. I think that's the idea, right? The ding. The idea is going up. Matt will have something to say.
Yeah, I think you're right, actually, and obviously it depends. Well, I'm obviously only 36, so I'm a bit younger than you, Ange.
You see, this is it.
Dive through the screen. Okay, no, I'm 46. So, yeah, they just life happens, and I think what you said there was quite key. Is how we, because people can say, "Oh, I'm broken. I'm this. I'm that," and then that's what you're telling yourself. And so it's that whole focus thing. If that's what we keep saying, or no one will ever have me, and I'm not adequate or good enough for this, then that's really what, unfortunately, you're going to communicate that message to yourself. But if we can communicate anyway, yeah, you know what? Now is a bit challenging. Now is just a bit of a challenging time for me. So and I can come through this, because I think really, come this far in life, you've been through some challenges anyway. One of them was being born.
100%. 100%. Do you remember that was, many episodes ago, but I said, and I love saying this to myself since I've heard it for the first time. It was, I don't remember who said it, but it doesn't even matter at this point. You've been through so much and you're still standing, right? So it means that, just every single person, not only yourself, not only you, not only me, everyone been through something. The challenge is that they, could handle, because sometimes, what it's like, you are facing something, you think, oh gosh, I think this is just stronger than me. But if you have this trust and belief that if you couldn't handle it, it would not appear in your life, then you have this power, that inner power and strength to go through it, right? And some people, they don't believe it, and they still go through it, and they are just learning that they are capable of going through no matter what, afterwards. So I think, just giving yourself this inner support, so to speak, just giving yourself the benefit of the doubt that no matter what happens, tomorrow is another day, because in the end of the day, whatever is happening, whether it's good or bad, is just the moment. It's just the moment. It doesn't last forever, unless you keep repeating and affirming to yourself, like, oh my gosh, life is so bad to me, oh my gosh, bad things are happening to me. Moaning is also a form of affirming. And if you keep affirming it, you're basically attracting more, or you're drawing your attention to those things you don't want. But if you say to yourself, well, it is what it is, I hate this situation, but hey, tomorrow is another day, just I'm gonna have a good night's sleep and I'll have a better look at it, and I'll see what I can do. And just do your best. There's a guarantee you're gonna overcome the situation, and you're gonna just be on the other side of it, sooner or later. So
yeah, that's cool. If you're just tuning in, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, leave a comment, and if share in the comments where you've maybe been something not necessarily challenging, but how you have gained your own inner strength, or how you look towards to live the life that you want to live. Drop some tips in, because we learn something, B, you share it onto someone else, to everyone else. But yeah, absolutely. What I kind of forgot what you're saying now. I was going to say, what you were saying, and just bide a bit of time from my goldfish memory. But no, you're right, because and there's been throughout my life, we've all had challenges, and there's been times where I really stayed a bit too focused on them, and I've had to do the work and look inside a little bit, and I think it's allowed me to set. We were talking about boundaries before we came on air, weren't we? So it's allowed me to put some boundaries in place, because everything in life, it's either a disaster or it's a lesson. But again, it's how we choose to look upon that. We have tough, challenging times, but and sometimes I think when they all come at once, or you have one experience and another experience, it could be it's just a bit unfortunate, or could be you've got some work to do upon yourself. And I much prefer to take control and think, well, what's the lesson here?
Yes, I was just gonna say that. I was exactly going to say that, what I'm actually learning here, why sometimes it's, well, even I don't know whether the question why, but maybe it is. Why things are happening, what is the true cause of things, how am I attracting it, because obviously you have to match the circumstances to a certain extent. There must be some sort of connection why you're attracting certain circumstances. And I'll be honest with you, just if I can use like life experiences, personal experiences that I could share, which could relate perfectly to the topic we're talking about today, is, I told you that, and I previously, and all of my clients also know, because that's something I'm not hiding. I used to suffer with bulimia, and I struggled with that for a very long time. It was nearly 20 years, and I hated that part of myself, right? And I was asking, just why is it happening to me? And yet, you see, few years now free from actually this destructive, horrible illness, so to speak. And I look at it, from perspective of time, and I think that was one of the biggest blessings I've ever experienced, even though when I was in it, I didn't feel it that way. And people ask me often, especially lots of my clients who struggle with eating disorders, they ask, how did you actually manage, to stop? I feel like, I will be bulimic for all my life, or I will be, just anorectic for all my life. And I say, look, first of all, you have to stop labeling yourself, I am bulimic, because even though I, experience, that's what I say, even though I experienced it for such a long time, I am not bulimic, I'm Ange. I'm Ange who experienced bulimia. And why did I experience it? I just discovered what actually was benefit of this illness for me. And they say, like, there's no benefit in that. And I said, yes, but there was no benefit in being alcoholic or addicted to drugs, but yet it still served the same purpose, right? It helps people to deal with their deeply rooted emotions. And that's what was happening with me. I had lots of emotions I was struggling to deal with. And I was finding the outlet through, overeating, and then, getting rid of it from my system. And so they asked me, okay, so I understand that, but how did you stop? And I said, well, it didn't happen overnight, right? And I knew it's going to be a journey, but obviously I started working more on myself, and I started giving myself permission to fall off the wagon.
Yeah.
not to be perfect. So every time I have fallen off the wagon, I was giving myself extra love. And that was helping me to stay on track. And now, like I said, it's a few years back, after, since, I'm clear, I'm clear. Since I'm clear, I don't even think about it. I don't have nothing is pulling me backwards, because I've learned, and nothing is pulling me backwards, just to get back to practice the same systems, the same way of dealing with the emotions. But because I've learned more about myself, and I've decided to give back to myself and love myself, no matter what. And that made me much stronger. And I think one of the biggest blessings of my experience is the fact that I have more compassion and understanding towards people who are going through those experiences, right? But like I said, there's always way out from any situation. And what kept me stuck in it for so long was the fact that I kept beating up on myself, and I felt ashamed for experiencing what I was experiencing, because obviously this is not something what people are happy about, right? And yet so many people suffer with it. It's just like a very, very secretive, a silent way of dealing with your emotions, and people are just too ashamed to talk about it. And sometimes that is one of the reasons why they can't come out of it, because they think it's too late for me. But it's not true. And I kind of lost a little bit of flow, but what I'm just saying is there is always way out of it, and you just need to start from giving back to yourself, and just showing yourself the love that which you are looking for, and everything is possible. And I am much stronger now, and all of the knowledge that I've gained, whether this is through spiritual awakening, mindset coaching, mindset education, through nutrition coaching, just all of those things that I've been interested in learning about to improve health. It was driven by how can I rebuild my strength on every single level. So just to prove, not only to myself, but to everyone else who I'm working with, that no matter where you are and how broken you are, you can still thrive on every level, physical, mental, spiritual, And I'm proud of myself, how far I've come. That's something what we were talking about last week too, right? And I just want to, I'm living proof, and just I want to show people, that it is possible. So I know not everybody is going through that kind of experience, and that's absolutely fine. But I just want to say to you that no matter where you are and what you're going through, you can't come out on the other side, and you're gonna be much stronger and much wiser. And don't feel bad about where you are, because where you are is just temporary situation, and you don't have to look where you are, you have to look where you're going, so.
Oh, and thank you for sharing that. Hi Claire, just joining in. Anyone else just tuning in? Thank you. If you're catching it here, make sure you go back and just shared about obviously your experience with bulimia. Just thinking back to that, Ange, like how did you make that? At what point did you decide? Say what was that moment where you decided? Because obviously me going through depression and my own health issues then, but where was it for you where like this has now got to change?
Do you know what? Because obviously it's like whatever happens in life, it's not like you have one stage of your life and then you're getting to the end of the stage and then you're starting another. Everything is just overlapping, right?
Yeah.
And I think I've always been into sports. The part of me was always very active and very like, let's go, let's do this. Where the other one was just very sensitive and didn't know how to deal with the emotions. So it's not like, there's so many different parts of us that have different strengths and weaknesses. So this sporty version of me was always interested in competing and doing great at sports, at aesthetics, how I looked, having lots of muscles, looking strong, and that's something that was really resonating with this part of me. And because I had lots of passion towards it, further down the line, I became just kickboxing coach. I became a personal trainer, and obviously I was climbing up and just learning different things along that side, just to fulfill my fulfill my passion, and just to share that my passion with other people. But obviously behind the closed door, there was this part of me that was going against it.
Yeah.
So I had this like internal crash, and I was like, how can I teach people how to take care of themselves if I do what I do, right?
Yeah.
So obviously when I developed bulimia, it was at the age of 16. I was 16, and my parents were divorcing at the time. There was lots of just stuff going on in my house, and that had massive impact on me and on my mental health. And bulimia was my way of dealing with what was happening in the house. But obviously, because I developed this habit, then I carried it, for next, just years. And I dealt with stress that way. Not every single time, not all the time, but I had those, just small moments when that was my way, my thing, my go-to. And I remember, because obviously I was just thinking, just it's great, you need to be strong. And when I'm performing, I'm feeling on top of the world, this is not something what is coming to my mind. But when I'm dipping and I'm not on the top of the world, right, this is when it is actually coming to play. And I thought, were we all going like up and down, up and down, up and down, and I'm all about well-being, and I'm all about helping people out, but I forget about myself. Well, I just already felt like you're a hypocrite if you think you can teach well-being and health and all that stuff if you keep doing what you're doing. You better sort your shit out, and then you start just coaching. And I was like, okay. And like I said, I still kept just teaching people, obviously promoting health and well-being as much as I could, but I was working extra hard on myself, meaning giving myself extra love, because that was something where I was lacking. I had to give myself this extra love every single time when I didn't feel that I'm good enough, that I'm doing well enough in my business, in everything. So it was just, it was overlapping, for a very long time. And I think the more I was working on myself, and I introduced meditation. I know some people are laughing at meditation, but for me personally, it really helped me to calm down the inner chatter. This voice in my head. It helped me to reconnect with myself. And because I was feeling better with myself, then I started digging deeper and looking for more. Because I knew there was power in it, and if it was helping me, surely it could help so many other people. So that's why I started introducing in the different elements to what I'm doing today, right? So it's not only personal training, it's everything else. It's just healthy nutrition, but not from the perspective of counting nutrients, macronutrients, just weighing everything. Is from the perspective of how you approach your food, your emotional relationship with food, how you look at it, because this is very, very important. And obviously mindset coaching with Eileen McCotter, she helped me to connect to a lot of dots too, and lots of other, just like spiritual coaches, all of it. I just been collecting different elements, and I'm adding them, putting them to what I've created, and I call it my own, just to help people who I'm working with, so I can actually give them this full variety of different tools they can use, in order to help them to get from point A to point B, right? And like I said, now, especially the more I was going into the mind side of everything, I was becoming stronger and stronger, and bulimia was non-player anymore. So,
and that is why you are worth your worth.
And this is another thing. Thank you very much. There's another thing. There is a massive strength and power in being transparent and vulnerable.
Yeah.
And I think when you tell people, look, this is what I've been through, they tend to, they are less guarded.
Yeah.
And it's easier to gain their trust when you tell them that, look, I get it, I might not, maybe I have not been in a situation, exactly the same situation like yourself, but I've been through something what was really, really traumatic for myself, and this is what I've been through. And I think when they can see, like, okay, you've been through this and you came out on the other side, they look at you and they think, well, if she can, I can do it too, right? And I think this is the power of coaching, where you actually come out on the other side. You are not broken, right? I think, do you remember we were talking about, this Chinese vase, when those Chinese vases have those cracks and they are filled with gold, or
the Japanese, I can't remember, we'll have to find the name of that. I know what you mean, yeah, and they make it more valuable, right?
Yes, they make it more valuable. And those golden threads in between, I would call it's wisdom, right?
Yeah.
So your scars are your wisdom. It's just like, or you have broken bone. You break your bone, and the strongest part on your bone is the part that was broken, right? Because the bone, structure becomes, just as twice as strong, if not more, in the broken place after it's repaired. So you can repair from. Do you remember we were talking about those stories about people who, well, they appeared like they didn't have a chance, just to survive. For example, it was like some terminal terminal illness, and doctors gave up on them, gave them all maybe few months or years to live, and yet they said, you know what, I'm not accepting that. I'm gonna live a long, happy life. And even example, do you remember I was talking about?
Sorry, Angel, I know someone.
There we go.
Matt
So
listening. Yeah, he's a kung fu instructor. He's had, since I've known him, he's had cancer, and he has really. I think that mindset has really been crucial to him.
Oh, it's a massive thing, and even I'm glad you actually bringing this up, because you know him personally, right? And one of my coaches, Donna Eden, who I'm been studying the energy medicine with, this lady, a wonderful lady, by the way, she was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. So for many people, they think multiple sclerosis is a disease that there is no cure for it. And yet, when she was aged, I think 27, if I remember rightly, she had allergy to everything what's possible. She had multiple sclerosis, and at the age of 27, she had a heart attack. She was already bound to the chair. She could not walk. She had 2 young daughters. Her husband passed away. And the doctor said, look, your internal organs are giving up. We are giving you maximum 2 years, And she said, do you know what? There's no way I'm going to leave my children, alone. And you know what? She cured herself from multiple sclerosis and everything else within 2 years. Within 2 years. And now, which is like 35 years later, she's in the best health ever. So she's like living proof of that it is possible. But you have to believe it. You have to give yourself permission and give yourself this love and and care that you deserve to move forward. And if you keep saying to yourself, I'm really bad, I don't deserve good things, why this is happening to me, you keep practicing the situation, meaning you just keep attracting more and more and more, because you're practicing this feeling of not deserving. But the truth is, everybody deserves the best. There is no pie to share. Everybody has their own pie. So why can't you just take care of your own pie and just stop, just thinking about others? Just give back to yourself, because when you do, first of all, you feel better, your life is much better, and the best comes out of you. So everybody benefits from that.
Yeah.
But there is no benefit in feeling sorry for yourself and putting yourself down. This is just not working. So you might as well, doesn't matter how long you've been practicing it, you can change, you can change the record at any point in your life, and you can start, living fresh, gradually. I did it gradually, so I'm not saying that you have a quantum leap in overnight, but some people do.
I think it takes time. I think it's sometimes it can be an overnight decision that you want to make that change as well. Sometimes it does have to build up. Sometimes it takes another disaster, or a loss or something to decide, I can't keep doing this. But we do have the power to say, well, I'm going to do it. And is it going to be easy? Probably not. And like you said earlier, like listening to your story, I can totally empathize with it because of my own, it was just depression, it was mental illness, and like, who was I then? It's shocking for me to think about it, really. But I've had to let go of guilt and everything else, how it affected everyone else around me, and even how it's affected me. So yeah, I totally. Yeah, you're right. Is that story is empowering. Where was I going with this? But
well, maybe share with us what did you do to help yourself to come out of the funk?
So, like, listening to yourself, I felt quite fraudulent then, because through my martial arts teaching, we were doing a lot of personal development, and I've been listening to Tony Robbins and 7 Habits. So, I was really encouraged to do that and put that back to my teaching. In fact, that was our unique selling point. It wasn't really the martial arts; it was the personal development that we were really teaching. It was just a vehicle to do that. And I think, as we talked, I don't know if we talked it live or before we came on, but I became absolutely exhausted. And 10 years ago, I remember 10 years ago, I can look back and I can see where I was actually at, and it is probably a lot worse than what I really imagined, and it spiraled then out of control. And not there's bad to it, and there's good to it. I'm glad it's happened, because I'm now much more aware. And what I realized was, I do need to talk more. I need to reach out. So I'm aware when these things are happening, and I'm aware when I need to step away from something, and I'm aware that it's okay for me to just have, do you know what, I'm gonna have a rest today, and not everyone's gonna like it. I got to say no to this, and I got to say no to that, and people want my time, and they want me here, and they want me there, and I would have been running around doing all that in the past, and you just can't please everybody. So I've just decided, well, I'm going to do it my way. I'm a good person. Yeah, I've made mistakes, same as everyone else, and I've been through my ups and my downs, but I'm now, I am where I am, and I'm a good person. And if someone doesn't like it, that problem is really with them, not with me. And like you, I've learned what my worth is, and that's that. So how I got round it was, I had to make some tough choices, and just be aware of, my social circle, my inner circle. I tightened that up a lot, and just if something felt a bit red flaggy, I just, hey, I'm sorry. We talked about it, that relationship's now not going to work out, and it could be a misunderstanding. That's not that I can't communicate. I can, and I think I've changed how I communicate to myself, and I've just become aware, much more aware of me, and where there are some deep rooted things from being young, and I'm a different person. I'm the person I want to be, and I think I've been striving to be, and I'm striving to be even better than that now with everything else that I'm doing, I guess. So, I like helping people, but I can't help everybody. I want to help as many people as I can, but I can't spread myself thin like that and have that energy sapped away, because then I can't help anybody. So I've learned, really, I'm just supposed to put myself a lot more first. And I just, even though it's not nice if someone doesn't like it, but I guess not with arrogance or anything like that. It's just, well, is that fair? As long where I sit, as long as I'm being fair and true, if there's a problem with that, then the problem's really is something that someone, that's their problem. It sounds horrible, but you know what I mean, right? I kind of gone from loads of tangents because it's been a long year again this week.
You put it.
It's been a long year today. But yeah, I dived back in. I started listening to more of the personal development because I'd come out of it. I'd stopped doing that. And I guess even me starting the Mindset podcast a few years back, that started to teach myself. And one of the key books in the last few years has been the Chimp Paradox. That helped me so much understand my way of thinking and other people's way of thinking, and just having a lot more of an appreciation for stuff. So I think really for me is that I've learned what my boundaries are, and that, hey, when people have got upset about that, that's okay. I can't, you can't expect people to be happy about the boundary, but remembering that boundary isn't for them, it's for me. And even my boundaries for myself, my own boundaries, what am I prepared to do? Because I think sometimes we forget we need our own boundaries in our personal space and the time that we spend, we take for ourselves, and not feeling guilty if I want to go on holiday or things like that. So yeah, it's a long process. It is, but once you make that choice, that I don't, I can't stay on. I went on antidepressant tablets, and I thought, I can't do this. Can't do this anymore. I don't want to be on these things. And I've just taken them, now I'm taking more. Now I'm stood over a balcony looking down thinking, what if I jump off here? And then you think about your children. Oh no. So all things that are going through your head and thoughts that you don't want to have. So I think, just being, you do come back. If you're in a if you're going for anything like that, like you said, tomorrow's a new day. You can step out of it. So if you say you can't, you're right. We know this. It's not a cliche. It's absolutely true. If you're not, I think I put a post out yesterday. It's like the 3 C's of life. So you've got to be willing to take a chance to make a change. Yeah, you got a choice to take a chance to make a change. If you don't want to change, that's okay. But then you accept that this is how your life is probably going to continue.
Yeah, sometimes I do believe that people think they have no choice. And I think today it's great to send a message to those who think that way, just to prove them that it's not true. Whatever you believe, it's true, right? Whether it's, you can't or you can. You're right. But you can choose what you believe in. You can really choose what you believe in. And yourself and myself, for so long, we've been kind of believing that, there is no way out, but yet we decided otherwise. And that's why we're on the other side. So nobody said it's going to be easy, but it's possible, it's doable. And it gets easier and easier. But like I said earlier, you just have to give yourself permission to fail and to not be perfect, and just to give yourself this extra love, because, you have to approve of self, first. You're looking for approval from others, and I've done it for so long. It's flaky, because even you might have the best friend ever and they will be giving you the support, but sometimes they might be in the funk and you're not gonna get the support you're expecting, only because they are not in the right headspace to give you what you're expecting them to give you. But if you can do it to yourself, then you just get everybody off the hook and you allow them just to be them. So it's very freeing for everyone, to be fair.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
and I think if you're looking for approval or recognition from other people, if that's your thing, in my experience, what I've noticed is that you on the road to crazy town, and you'll end up doing all kinds of stuff because that's your biggest focus, and you won't get the approval. It won't be enough. And then it'll cause some sort of resentment, whether it be in you or someone else. Deep.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
So guys, I hope you're finding this helpful. Please put it in the comments if there's anything that really resonates with you, and if it is, please specify what it is. I'm really curious. We're really curious to find out what it is. And also, please share and like this episode, not only this episode, but also our podcast. We're gonna really appreciate your support. You're already supporting us massively, and we love you for that. But if you can just give us this extra love, we're gonna appreciate this even more. So, Claire,
we need recognition. We need our recognition and approval. That's enough.
I'm not looking for approval. I'm not looking for
I know I'm messing about. Thank you, Claire. I was going to say if we can come up with some top tips, really, but I got quite a great metaphor as well, and because you shared about when you break a bone, that part of the bone it comes back stronger. I like the lobster one. I seem to have a lot of things about lobsters and these, yeah. But anyway. I'm going to go off on a sidetrack. So look, the lobster lobster when it's going to shed its skin and come back bigger, it needs to hide underneath a rock. And it softens up a little bit. It's very, like you said, vulnerable. Becomes very vulnerable then, because obviously if it softens its skin, it's more likely to be, eaten by a predator.
Yeah.
So the skin has to soften up. I believe it sheds that skin. It grows bigger as with the soft shell to then harden up, and it comes out as a bigger lobster and stronger. Now, I guess our bodies don't always do that, but I think it's a great metaphor in that, sometimes, it's okay when you're going through something that you will come out stronger. You have to believe it. And, sometimes everything can come from all different angles. I think that's where I was at. It just felt literally like everything and anything. And there was a point where I thought, oh my God, like, how do I get out of all of this? And feeling literally that exhausted. I remember about 9 years ago, whenever it was, 2012, I'd just gone to New York because we were trying to find out more on how to get the fitness kickboxing over here in the UK and do it properly, and come back from there. I went exhausted and I came back even more exhausted. I felt for probably it felt like months. I don't know how long it was, but when you've just got off a boat or you're stood on a boat, I felt like that, absolutely like that. And I was just doing far too much, and and just that was it. I was absolutely burned out and struggling with my mental health and portraying that everything was all okay when it really, really wasn't. So I think it took a disaster then to think, well, I have to really work on this. And there was other disasters along the way. That's part of life, really. But I'm glad I've gone through it. It wasn't nice at the time, but coming out, I'm just a much more, I think, clarity of what I want in life and how I want to do that. And I think I feel like I have more freedom. Not that anyone was not making me free. That would be unfair for me to say that, because then I'm blaming someone else or something else, and there's nothing like that anyway. But more for me to think I have the freedom to choose my destiny and how I'm going to go about doing it, and come along for the journey, people. If you want to, because that's a choice. But I can't wait. Also, that is okay for me. I'm not going to wait around. Come along or don't come along, that's fine. You can, and anyone can jump on the bus or get off whenever you feel like it. It's a choice that we have, really. So Claire's put
she has posted
what she put. So mental health is difficult when everyone expects you to be the one holding it, everything. Oh my gosh, I can totally relate to that. Yeah. Totally relate to that. Yeah. So sorry for the podcast. If you listen on podcast, so Claire has put a comment up. So mental health is difficult when everyone expects you to be the one holding everything together. And I think really, and say what you think in a bit, but I think with things like that, I've learned to give myself a break. I am not responsible for anyone else's happiness. I'm not. Absolutely not. It might make you happy, it might make you laugh and smile, and I can make you not make you feel good. That you might feel good just being around me, whatever. Generally anyone. So if we're connected or whatever, and that's going to be different. can connect in the friendship, you can connect in a relationship that's more than it can connect when you just say hello to someone for the first time and goodbye, nice to meet you at a party or something, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%.
And totally, you are not responsible for anyone else's mental health, but you are to a degree, because obviously if you're being a complete narcissistic yeah and you probably know it, you're responsible for that. I know I got some followers that will like that one, but you're responsible for that. But however, if you're caught up in that, you also, you've got a choice.
Yes, you always have a choice. No
Always
matter what you've been through, you always have a choice. And like you said, going back to happiness or choices, you always, happiness is an inside job. That's it. There's nothing more to add to it. And I was watching Will Smith. That was one of his episodes where he was talking about his relationship with his wife, and he said when he had one of those conversations with Jada, and they realized that their responsibility is to make sure they're happy separate. So then they're bringing their happiness to a relationship, and they share it, they exchange it, and they are, enjoying it. So obviously, you might have a moment where you feel down, but everybody has those moments. But if you give yourself, you just not only permission, but you just look at it this way. Look, okay, this is something what happened. Just well, it is what it is. Depends on the size of it. And you choose to deal with it and make something positive out of it, you're automatically making decision just to come out on the other side and be positive, because you want to feel good, right? So you're coming as this version of yourself, the solution oriented version of yourself, who is not dragging problems behind you and dumping those problems on someone else who appears to you to be happy, right? You just deal with your stuff first, and if there's someone else just coming along and helping you, and that's great, but you can't be relying on them and making them responsible for how you feel. You can't. You just have to, just make that choice for yourself first. And I think that was massive thing for me. You just bring your happiness and you just with yourself and you share it. And I thought, I really like that, because I even experienced myself the relationships in my life when I was like, oh my gosh, just probably that was from my side, I'm gonna do everything for them so they are happy, right? Everything. And then I was like, shit, they don't appreciate, right? Yeah, I do everything for them and they are not appreciating it. But obviously, again, like you said earlier about boundaries and stuff, so it works both ways. But I just understood, because what I was leading to, I was thinking, if I go and do everything for this person, that it means this person will go and do everything for me, right?
Yeah.
That's true. It was in my head. That's how I was thinking. And then I just over the years, I've learned, that it doesn't work like that. It works from inside out, and that's the only way. That's the only way. So
yeah, I can relate to that. I've probably been in a relationship where someone's, you're both trying to make each other happy. You're missing the point.
I mean, there's nothing wrong in trying to make someone happy for that.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I don't deliberately go out my way to.
No, this is not
this expensive vase.
Yeah, 100%. It's great that you're just loving and just attentive and all that stuff. It's really, really nice to show affection and support. I'm really 100% just supporting that. But what I'm saying is just take care of of your happiness first. So because everybody has different desires and dreams, make sure you don't forget about those.
Yeah.
Don't lose yourself. Whether you are on your own or with someone else is very important, because you can't lose yourself. You have to be whole, right? Which means you have your boundaries, you have your limitations, you have your dreams, your desires, everything, and you have to respect that yourself.
Yeah. Oh, I like that. You've got to respect yourself and like that. Otherwise, you're down a rabbit hole you don't really want to go down. But you can get out, so that's the good news. Right? So don't worry, you can just imaginary digger and just straight up. Let's get out of here. I guess so. Our key things from this today is that there's always a way. Always have a choice.
Yeah.
And tomorrow's a new day, and if when you're in those little darky places, and if you've been for it, okay, so it's been quite a deep conversation podcast today. So whatever, if you're in this stage or been for it, we'd love to hear from you. Hey Margaret, hello, thank you for joining. We'd love to hear from you about your experiences and how you've found your inner power. If you want to share like a tough story, by all means, or if you need some help, advice, drop it in the comments, because someone will jump in if we can't. So yeah, isn't that right, Ange? Yeah.
Yes, it is 100%. So I would say to you, from my own experience, give yourself extra love, okay? And don't focus where you've been. Focus on where you're going, because you have power of creating everything. Everything, I mean bad and good. So choose good, because you deserve it. Yeah. And that's something that helped me massively. And am I done yet? Of course I'm not. Of course I'm not. And I'm not even striving about, for perfection anymore, because there is no such thing like perfection. Or better said, all of us are already perfect, because we are all different.
Strive for growth.
Yeah.
And just, we said it enough times today, strive for growth and have your boundaries in place, and your tribe, seek out the tribe that's good for you. And some people come for a season, some for a lifetime, and don't worry about it. Can't please everybody, that's for sure. And if someone's upset, it's as long as you can hand on heart set, you're true, and you and if it's something you cocked up, making a mistake, just got to own it a bit. That's that. Time to you can't always fix stuff, but it's what you do next, isn't it? You're only as good as like the last action you took, really. So just but look good, be positive, definitely. Look back down the mountain over at the great things you've achieved and accomplished, and you'll be really, really surprised. And then look forward again, but stay in the present moment.
100%. So guys, I hope you enjoyed today's session. I've enjoyed sharing with you my personal story, and it was a really, really deep session today. So it was a very special session, number 15. There is no bigger power than honesty, transparency, and vulnerability, right? So that's what we showed to you today. Shared with you our hardships from life, just to show you that everybody can be successful and come out of any situation, right? So don't forget to trust your intuition, find your purpose, and pursue your passion, because there is always a hope. And then if there is a hope, there is chance for a better life.
Excellent. I'm just going to put this comment out, because I think, just to finish up, Margaret's put, I find my inner strength when I decided to choose myself. What a way to close today's show. Thank you, Margaret.
Wonderful.
What a way. Thank you, Ange. Thanks for sharing that story. That was I know you shared it before, but it's always brave. And we got 2 episodes left of the year.
Very special ones, right? As always, anyway.
Yes.
as always.
All right.
But just to give you a little preview, but just give you a little bit of information. 2022 will be very special. So just watch what's going to happen.
All the 2s.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing.
All right. Bye, everyone. Have a great week. Enjoy whatever you're doing, and we'll see you next time. Peace, love. Always.
I don't know what I was going to say. See you again. Let's love you. Bye.
Bye-bye.